So Marcel, here we are in the vintage room at the Wine Society,
the heart of the matter,
for the much anticipated release of our first bin series release of 2022. The bin series own label range was launched a few years ago by the Wine Society to do something that actually we've been doing since 1874 and is part of our founding principle in 1874, which was to discover wines hitherto unknown in this country. And the bin series, I guess, is a really neat way for the buying team to put our name, the Society's name, on a wine, on a style, on a grape or a region that we think is potentially upcoming, something slightly unusual, something esoteric. So it's very much an opportunity purchase. Hence, there's absolutely no rhyme or reason to how we release the bin series. The last one was about 6 months ago. We are now on bin 11, which I'm sure some members may have guessed with Marcel being here. Marcel buys Germany, southern France, the Rhone, and I guess most likely going to come from one of those areas. So I've got a bottle here.
It's not Germany.
No, it's very red.
Not Germany.
It's bin 11 and it's Alicante 2021. It's £10.95 and it's available to order right now from the Wine Society's website. So Mars, tell us a little bit about this wine.
Okay, I shall do so. The Wine Society was founded in 1874. I've got a funny feeling Alicante bouschet dates back to 1868, but I could be wrong. Alicante bouschet is a grape variety that is actually very much planted all over southern Europe, particularly France, which I think has the highest acreage, but also southern Portugal, good part of Spain, Italy, can't remember. It's a grape variety that was, as I said, created in the middle of the 19th century by a French agronomist by the name of Bouchet. And his brief was to produce a very dark, a grape variety that could produce very, very dark coloured wine. And he crossed it with lots of different things. So part of the crossing is between Petit Bouchet, which is one of his creations, with Aramon, which is an old Languedoc variety, and those two together with Grenache. And it produced this quite dark, very dark berried variety. The main thing about it is that most grapes have a flesh that has no colour. So when you make red wine, you get your colour from the skins only. With Alicante bouschet, you get colour from the skins, but you also get colour from the flesh. The flesh is red. And as I said, it's not a variety that's much known, but actually it's much planted, because it's really prized because of its colour. Now I remember going around Châteauneuf-du-Pape with a very eminent grower, and we were going out in probably in the autumn, just about the start of the vintage, and we walked and walked and walked and walked and walked, and he would point out all the various grape varieties. Oh, that's Grenache, that's Mourvèdre, and that is Alicante. And you can tell Alicante in the autumn because the leaves, instead of going from green to kind of yellow or gold, it goes from green to bright red. So it's a real giveaway. Incidentally, Alicante bouschet is totally illegal in Châteauneuf-du-Pape, but there's actually lots of it around because it produces colour. Anyway, this doesn't come from Châteauneuf-du-Pape, it comes from the Corbières, where it's also illegal. You're not supposed to have it to make an appellation wine, but you can produce it anyway. It's tolerated. It comes from an estate called Château des Ollieux-Romanis, owned by the Bory family. Now, when we first started working with, it was Jacqueline Bory, and this goes back to the late 1980s, early 90s. I was fascinated by all the little experiments they used to do with Carignan, with Alicante, and they used to do a blend of Alicante and Carignan, which worked very well. And we bought it actually once or twice. Then the estate went through rather a dump patch, but they went broke. Helped or not helped by a descendant of the Earl of Avon who thought he would create all sorts of things and didn't. And Jacqueline brought in her son called Pierre, who was a banker, who was basically in Paris or New York, and he came to rescue the company. And since then, it's gone through all sorts of things. It's now one of the leading companies of Corbières. Now, most of their grape varieties are sort of Syrah, Grenache, Carignan, obviously, but they have a few parcels of Alicante which they prize because of its ability to give colour and also it's kind of rather a supple, kind of sappy sort of taste, which is very nice and which works really well in tandem with Grenache and Syrah. A little bit of this Alicante goes into the Society's Corbières, but no more than about 1 or 2%. And I thought it'd be huge fun to have a pure Alicante. So that's the story.
Fantastic story, and I've no idea if it comes well out on the camera, but I have to say the colour of this wine is
Colour black.
Is incredible. It is. It's opaque, isn't it? Very inky colour, and it's been my first taste just now. And you'd expect from a wine of that depth of colour and the palate weight and the intensity is quite wonderful, but it's only got 12.5% alcohol.
Yeah.
You know, most red wines of this intensity and richness would have much higher
Maybe 14
levels.
or more.
Exactly. But it's a real sort of blueberry kind of character and supple, juicy.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And wonderful purity. Do they use any oak here at all?
No oak at all. It's just tank.
So it's an honest expression of Alicante.
Absolutely.
Great
Perfect
variety.
midday wine.
Perfect midday wine. What would you eat with this wine, Marcel?
Kind of midday food.
Midday food. It would go with a variety of things, quite versatile.
Lots of things. Oh, that's nice.
It's very nice, isn't it?
Sort of blueberry, sort of blueberry a little bit, maybe cherry a little bit. Very soft tannins. That's the other thing about Alicante. So in a blend, it kind of contributes to, it kind of rounds things off a little bit. I mean, Carignan can be a bit rustic, and this is not. This is soft and supple and sweet.
And I think it would. I think if you like Malbec, you would probably enjoy this wine. It's got similar. It's not the same as, but similar characteristics to Malbec in terms of its fruit profile.
That's lovely.
Delicious, isn't it?
Yeah, well done me. Good.
Well done, yeah. So that's Bin 11, Alicante, 2021, available on the Wine Society's website right now. If you're someone that is adventurous, I know that this will appeal to you, most of our members are, but if you're starting your wine journey, you should take advantage of our single bottle trial delivery. Because you can order just one bottle and have it delivered free of charge, just to give yourself a go on this really interesting, quite delicious wine from an unusual grape and an unusual part of
But one that doesn't taste funky.
Doesn't taste funky at all. It's very fruity and clean.
Clean fruit.
Brilliant. Cheers,
Pierre,
Mars.
santé.
Santé.
Ow, I can't smell.